Hi and welcome to the first tutorial on Rollerball for Unity3d. First thing you want to do is obviously open up Unity and create yourself a new project. The projects are up here. If you just click on New and give your project a name, I'm going to call mine Rollerball, and choose your project location. For Rosemary College users, you're going to have to make sure you find browse with the three dots to this PC and then over into your U drive and your programming folder, and make yourself a folder in there for all of your Unity 3D games. For me, I'm just going to leave it in my documents, and obviously it's going to create a whole folder that's going to be all of the files that you're going to need for your project. If you make sure that it's set to 3D, so click on the 3D, and later on advanced users will be able to put asset packs in here at the time you create the project, but we're going to leave them blank just now and just click on create project, and then you'll wait for Unity to make all the files for you. Okay, so here's Unity. If you've never seen it before, I'll just give you a quick introduction of how things work. You've got the 3D view over here. We can use the right mouse button down to look around. We can use the W, A, S and D to move about. We can move the objects around with the widgets, and the different widgets are over on the top left hand side. We've got the transform, the rotate and the scale, and you can move things around and rotate them and scale them with those. You can also see over on the right hand side is position, rotation and scale numbers, and you can type directly into these boxes to set particular positions that you might want for any of these different elements. The window layout area is quite handy. You can set the default as you see here, or if you want to, you can set any of the others. And if you do happen to move things around and you don't like where they are, then you can go back to there and choose the default view or any other view that you've chosen. What we're going to do is I'm just going to quickly put together our play area. So we're going to click on a game object to create game objects. We're going to choose a 3D object and we're going to choose a cube. I'm going to stick that cube down in the middle. Go back to the transform tool so we could move it around if we want. Now I know I'm going to make this cube about 50 units by 50, so I'm just going to type 50 in for the X, and I'm going to type 50 in for the Z, and make sure I press enter. And now you should be able to see the arena right here. There's a directional light on it. I'll move that camera up. You can see from a little camera preview, when the camera is selected, you can see what the camera will see. What I need to do now is add the walls along the side there, so I'm going to just do the same thing again. Create a 3D object, create the cube. One little shortcut tip here: if you want the cube to stick to an object, you can hold shift and control at the same time, and you'll see it changes into a box. So that's shift and control, changes into a box. And if you drag on it with the left mouse, you'll see you can drag it around the arena, and that way you can make it stick onto things. You can move around quite a bit as well, just to make sure that things are where you think they are. And if you want to, you can set the different views from the widget on the top right hand side. So a good way of setting this is to look at it from the top, so we can see if we're in line. And if we go into orthographic mode, you'll see that things line up. They don't get smaller as they go further away, so that makes things a lot easier to align. Now we know that this is 50 units along, so I'm just going to make this 50, and then I'm going to be able to drag this along so that it kind of matches. And if I go back into perspective mode and move around, I should see that now I've got a bit of a wall. The other little tip that I'll show you while I'm here is if you want things to match exactly, so snap one vertex onto another vertex, you move yourself into position and you hold the V key. When you hold the V key with an object selected, you'll see that I can choose a particular vertex of that object. You can see as I move my mouse over, it chooses particular vertex. Allows us to vertex snap. So with my V key still held, I'll choose this vertex and then drag that box to any other vertex on my scene. and it will automatically snap that to the area. So I've got one perfect box already set up right there. Alright, now I'm going to teach you a few shortcuts to be able to do the other ones as well, so just get used to the editor. Now, one quick shortcut is to be able to duplicate something. So if you go in the edit menu, you can see there's a duplicate, which is a Control D. So I have this selected, and I'm just going to duplicate with Control D, and you'll see it comes up in the hierarchy over here. So I've got cube 1, cube 2, and they're both there, but one of them's obviously on top of the other one. Oh yeah, that's a good tip here. If I do this, if I can rename these ones, just click on it again when it's selected, or you can rename it in the box on the top right hand side over here. So I have cube 1. I'm just going to call that wall, and I'm going to call this one wall as well. It doesn't matter if they're all called the same thing. And I'm just going to move this in, and again use the vertex snap. So that's V, drag, and it goes onto it. Now we want to have the same thing over the other side, rotated by 90 degrees. So if I duplicate, which was Control D, move it out of the way, and this time I'm going to type straight in for the rotation around the y-axis. If you haven't worked out already, the x-axis is right and left. It's the red one that you see on the screen here. The y-axis is up and down, which is the green one that you see here, and the z is forward and back, which is the blue one that you see here. Now you're going to be moving around a lot, so it's a good idea to keep these in mind when you're moving about, so you remember which ones are which. So once again, on the vertex snap tool, hold V for vertex, drag onto that one, and it doesn't matter that they overlap. And last one, Control D, duplicate, move over to the far side, find a corner, and V for vertex, snap to the position. So there you have it. Here's our working arena, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in our player. This time it's going to be, instead of a cube, it's going to be a sphere, and just hold Control and Shift and position that somewhere in the center of our view.